If you're struggling with getting a grip on your day, or maybe you just want to be more productive during your day, I'm stepping through my day and revealing what I do from the time that I wake up until the time that I go to sleep to gain maximum efficiency out of my day.
You're listening to the Modern Kings podcast, your source of life-changing information for upgrading your lifestyle and unlocking your keys to success. Welcome to Modern Kings.
What's up, everybody? If you're new here, I'm King Prime. That is my real name. I can be found at iamkingprime.com. Here at Modern Kings, the core mission is to help men to level up in the areas of finance, fitness, and fashion. You've got to have those areas on lock if you want to effectively lead. Sometimes as you go about your life, you find yourself in a bit of a rut, a routine, or what have you, and you want to get things done. You have big dreams. You want to accomplish so much. But it's all about how you structure your days and how you structure your weeks and how you structure your months and then your quarters and your years. It all adds up. But the beginning stages is how you structure and plan your day. People have asked me, how do you get so much done with your properties, your Airbnb, your marketing business, your fashion pursuits, giving the appropriate time to your friendships and relationships, being a full-time single dad, and also being recently married? How does it happen? That's what I'm here to reveal. I understand the pursuit, the frustration, and what it takes to put your family in the place of advancement. When I first started out, I was really trying to figure this out. And I learned quite a few things along the way. But I'm going to give you exactly how my days go. And I believe that you will be able to adopt some of these and have your days to be more productive and make you more successful overall as the leader of your family, community, and environment. Well, first thing that I do when I get up is gratitude. I'm happy that I'm here and that I'm awake. And I don't always wake up in the best mindset, so I meditate. And that is the time that I give to myself that no one else can take from me. In my current living situation, it becomes challenging, because at the time that I want to meditate, my wife is up. She's on a client call super early in the morning. The kids are going on their way to school, and I have nowhere to go. With 3 levels of a home, I don't have a place to go. So sometimes I walk and I meditate. Sometimes I go to my garage and get in my car and I meditate. There's always a way to get it done. And that's going to be the common theme that you're going to hear me talk about. There's always a way. And meditating may not be your thing. You may be a person that prays. You may be a person that has positive thoughts. Whatever it is that makes you feel better, do that thing. I use the app Calm. I pay my annual subscription. It helps me how I need it. It balances me out. But I want you to do what works for you. After my meditation, I journal. I write down my thoughts, because in meditation, I then have thoughts of how could I apply what I just learned? It gave me perspective about something that I was a little disturbed about a couple days ago, or it gave me revelation on how I need to do something today in a different way than I was going to approach it. So I write down my thoughts from my meditation. And as I'm journaling, I'm having a cup of tea. Yeah, I'm a tea man, so I really enjoy teas, and I've become a bit of a tea snob. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my favorite teas and my favorite kettle down in the description box. But that's what I do when I'm journaling. I'm drinking tea. And in the midst of people going to and from and being in my environment, first thing in the morning, I'm trying to give positivity to people as they're on their way out the door. If a kid is on their way, headed out the door and going to school, I'm going to say, you're going to have the most fantastic day that you've had all month. Tell me about it when you get home. It's going to be great. I'm putting things in the atmosphere. I'm speaking the things that are not as if they were. And that's how things are actually birthed. So that's phase 1 of my day. Phase 2, I'm getting a workout in. It's a must for me. It's a lifestyle. Let's get it. I'm on my way to the gym, or I'm working out in my garage. Regardless of the space that I'm working out in, I have to do a warm up. When you get to be my age, you've got to treat the body nice. You've got to warm it up. You've got to be flexible and limber before you get into your routine. You can't just jump into strenuous exercises and routines without the proper warm-up and stretching. Then I do some type of functional exercise. Functional exercise is pushing, pulling, jumping, squatting, walking. Everything that I do revolves around those things. And at least once a week, I run. I don't like it, but I do it. Check out this video on the thing that I absolutely hate doing. Then afterwards, I will eat. I typically meal prep on a Sunday. I will take a meal with me, or if I didn't meal prep, then I'll just make a quick shake and I'll have it on the go. That's phase 2 of my day. One of the things that really helped me along the way was this book called Atomic Habits. This book changed my life. We're going to put a link to it in the description for the physical copy and the audio. And if you're liking what you're hearing right now, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Part 3 of my day starts with me getting in my car. I'm in Loki. Loki is the name of my car. Yeah, Loki from like the Marvel movies. Sneaky, condescending, you never see him coming. So those of you who do not know, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. Traffic is consistently horrible. It's just a way of life. But what do? I utilize and maximize that time to make phone calls, whether they're business, personal. And if I just don't want to be on the phone, then I listen to podcasts or books. I call my car a university on wheels because it is such an environment for learning and personal development and well-being. I'm better at the end of my commute than I am at the beginning of my commute. And that's either by way of conversation or something that I heard, something that I listened to. Listen, if you're still here, drop a comment below. I want to know, how do you spend your time in your car? Do you listen to the radio? Do you listen to audiobooks? Are you a closet NPR listener? Or do you just like your quiet time? Personally, I probably spend more time listening to things that educate me over anything else. Nelson Mandela said this: education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So now, whether I'm at my office or whether I'm at a client location, whether I decided to do my professional work from my house, in phase 3, I do the hardest thing first. It's called Eat That Frog. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this concept, but if you can start and focus on that hard task first thing, everything else is a breeze. It kind of goes back to why I work out first thing, because often working out is the hardest part of my day. It's tasking, it's demanding, and when it's done, it's inspiring. It helps me to easily go into that hard mental business task that I have to get done. And once I start focusing on and I accomplish that hard first task on a professional level, then everything else becomes a breeze. So once that's done, I make it a point to do something nice for someone, whether it's complimenting someone, whether it's seeing if anyone needs any help with something. How can I make someone's days better? And that can even be words of encouragement. As I go throughout my day, I'm also keeping a checklist because things come up, things get crossed off. And as you're going through your checklist, you're ranking things. Not everything is important. This is how I see it. There's important, there's something that can wait, and there's something that's urgent. And if you can define what these are, and that's a pretty successful method to decide your ranking order. I'm also making sure that I'm hydrating, that I'm eating snacks, and that I'm eating meals throughout the day. This is something that I'm guilty of and something that I'm not proud of, but if I'm working really hard on something, I forget about food, I forget about the time, and I'm just engulfed into it. So I have to be intentional about staying hydrated, eating, and snacking, just to keep my body fueled. And it also helps your mental focus and mental clarity. Depending on how important the task is that I'm doing, sometimes I work until it's done. Sometimes I have hard stop times. What I consider a hard stop time is if I have a group of 2 or 3 people and I say, hey, just want to let you know that I have a hard stop at 3 o'clock and at 3:01 I'm gone. That's okay to do. It is okay for you to do that. But do be mindful of this. If you're going to work for your employer and you're the type that shows up right on time and you leave as soon as 5 o'clock get there, you can forget about excelling. That's not the leader that your company is looking for. Another video, another time, but I wanted to share that. So then I jump into Loki, I return home, I make phone calls on the way home, I listen to books on the way home, I do whatever it takes to decompress, to make me feel good and to make me show up as a whole, complete, unfrustrated person when I arrive home. And that's because if you've had a bad day and you bring it home, nobody deserves that because you had a bad day. What if everyone else had a bad day? So to that point, I'm going into phase 4 of my day. Now, when I get home, I've got to be fully focused. This is why I get my phone calls out of the way, because I refuse to enter into my house while being on a phone call. It is disrespectful for the connection time that I want with my kids and my spouse. But if you just so happen to have had a bad day, talk this over with your family or your person or your spouse or whomever and just say, look, I had a bad day. 1 to 10 energy level, I'm a 2. What's your number? And then he or she may say, I'm an 8 or I'm a 1. What it does is it gives you grace and the ability to hold space for that person so that you won't be offended, they won't be offended, and you can give them that time and space that they need. So while I'm in phase 4, having dinner at the table, no phones, and I may or may not decide to go to the gym. Not for a 2-day session, but if my morning was really, really busy and I didn't get an opportunity to work out that morning, then sometimes I do have flexible days to where, okay, I'm gonna work out after dinner or I'm gonna work out right before dinner, but something to afford the opportunity for me to get a workout in. So it's not cyclical that I have to, and I do work out every morning, but it's most mornings. But I want you to give a little grace to yourself, because some days, in order to get the things done that you need to get done, you're gonna have to be flexible. After dinner, I typically do a walk around the neighborhood, take random routes, and decompress a little bit more, catch up with what's going on, take a load off, laugh a little bit. Occasionally there is evening work to where we're catching up on like a business of ours that needs some attention in an area, or maybe we're trying to solve something that we need to give anywhere from 10 to 40 minutes to in the evening. And as the evening begins to wind down, then I start to journal. This is my personal journal here. And I like it because it gives me a snapshot of my day, how I felt when I arose in the morning, what the weather was like, what mood was I in, how much water did I drink, what exercise did I do today. If you really pay attention to yourself and start writing things down, you learn a lot about yourself. And not only do you learn a lot about yourself, you start to bring those habitual positive habits together. I have my phone programmed to go into sleep mode about 9:15, 9:30. It starts to shut down. I get no more notifications from my phone. And when I'm winding down and preparing for bed, I actually keep my phone away in another room so that it doesn't distract me. I then perform my hygiene. I look at my planner one more time so that I can have fresh thoughts on what am I doing first thing in the morning, so that I'll know whether I need to hit the ground running with my workout or whether I need to hit the ground running with, phone calls, conference calls, a flight, whatever the case is. The last thing that I do is get myself into a positive headspace before I go to sleep. For me personally, how I go to sleep is how I wake up. If I go to sleep aggravated or agitated, I typically wake up that way. That's not good for me. These are the things that I do in the course of my day. I want you to have maximum efficiency with your day. Drop a comment and let me know something that you do within your day that makes you have maximum efficiency. If you enjoyed this video, check out the video above on being default aggressive. It's going to help you to be highly intentional and make you an overall thriving person. Also, I highly recommend this book, Atomic Habits, which is in the description, along with Miracle Morning Millionaires. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, look your best, do your best, and be your best.